The first thing we're going to do is make our miniature wreaths. These are just 2-inch wreath forms. They're little grapevine wreaths. And I want to make these to hang on my tree. So what I'm going to do is start off with this wreath form exactly the way you would start off with any wreath. I'm going to loop the wire around the wreath, tighten it down, and then I'm going to run this through just a couple of times to make sure that it is on there really well. Just like that. Okay? So now we're going to make our bundles. No different than you make bundles for big wreaths or whatever. We're going to make our bundles. Okay? I'm probably only going to use one of these in each wreath. So we'll see how it works. Now I have this wired garland. I picked this up at Dollar Tree. And what it is just long pieces of garland. It looks kind of like when you buy the little Christmas trees from Dollar Tree. It looks like the stems on it. But what I want to do is cut these in pieces like that. And this is going to go on our wreath. A lot of people use those to fill in around their wreath. Around their Christmas tree. People will use it to fit, because those Christmas trees are a little sparse. So, anyway. Okay. We're going to add some red berries to this. Now, what we're going to do is layer and make our bundles just like you would make a regular wreath. So, we're going to put a piece of pine, these little greenery pieces, and a red berry. And this is going to go on our wreath form. Just wrap it around, pull that through, and then just wrap it around again. I think I'm only going to do one for each one. So we'll just cut that and leave about that much wire left. And then bend these around a little bit, maybe. Just like that. Oh yeah, I like that. So we'll go pull this around, your piece of wire, pull it around, flip this over, and then you're just going to stick this wire through wherever you can get it stuck through on the wreath form. Do that a couple of times so we're sure that it holds. And then twist it like that. So now what we need to do is I want to put some snow on these. So what I'm going to do is mix up, we'll lay this to the side. I'm going to mix up some sand. This is just sand that I picked up at Dollar Tree. And I picked up white so that way it would look like snow. So we'll cut a little piece of this open. And what you do is pour some out in your pan or bowl or plate, whatever it is that you want to use. And then you use regular school glue. Let's get the seal off. We're just using regular white glue that you buy your kids for school. Squirt some of that in, just like that. Just gonna mix this up. See, it already looks like chunky snow. Just like that. I'll show you what it looks like up close. Just looks like chunky snow. So now what we're going to do is put it on our wreath. So we'll just go all around, just like this. Make sure we get it on the pine. And look at that, how beautiful. Is that not beautiful? Okay, so the next thing we need to do is add some red ribbon to this. I purchased red velvet ribbon this time, because I really like the way that looks. So we're going to cut a length of ribbon. I don't know how much to tell you because I'm just eyeballing it. But we're going to cut the ribbon and then make a bow that's going to go right here. So what you do is put your ribbon around. Make sure that it's the same. Make sure it's the same length. And then you're just going to tie it like this. And then bring your ribbon into a bow on one side. Bring your ribbon into the same size bow on the other side. So it'll just look like that. And then tie those two bows together, just like you would tie your shoe. In the center, we're going to hot glue a little acorn right in the center of this bow right here. I think I'll lay it on its side because this one is so tiny, so you'll be able to see it. Lay it on its side where you want it to be. Add some hot glue and stick it on there and hold it for just a minute so it'll stay. That is our very first little wreath. It looks beautiful. The next ornament I'm going to make is just a little stack of sticks to go on my tree. I just want them pretty small, just about that big. Just about like that. And what we're going to do is make a stack of logs. So we just cut this. And they don't need to be perfect because logs aren't perfect. Goodness. Well. So here's our second log. Now I'm going to turn the rough sides up because I think that looks nice. And then we'll get a different size. We'll stack that. Stack a couple of those, and then we'll get an even smaller size to go on the top. Just like that. And what I'm going to do is add a little bit of hot glue to each one, and then we're going to tie it with some red ribbon. So I'll just run a little bit of hot glue here. Hold that together. Hold it together just like that a second until it stays together. And then we will add a little bit of hot glue here and here. Put the next largest stick there, just like that. This one here. And then the next one we'll just add a little bit of hot glue here. And this will stick right on the top. Just like that. And we have a little stack of sticks. That is super cute. I love that. Okay, so same as last time, we're going to add some ribbon. And then when I hang it up, I can see the whole stack of, yeah, I think that's a good idea. So what you do is make sure your ribbon is lined up equally. And then we're just going to turn it like this. Just lay one side over on the other side, just like that. Now lay it down. We're just going to add a little dab of hot glue right there. Let that dry. And then we will lay this here. Just like that. So we need to add some hot glue here and right here. And we'll lay these right on. Oh, I like that. That looks really good. Let's trim up this side to make it the same as the other. And we'll do a little angle on it so it looks cute. And then we're going to go ahead and add some of our snow that we made. So it looks like our logs are covered in snow. And this will dry in no time. It doesn't take it too long to dry. Put some up on the top. Okay. And there is our stack of wood. What we're going to do is burn this around the edges. I've burnt some of it. But I'm just going to burn this around the edges, just like this. We're just making it look really old, giving it some antiquing. And it just looks like that. Looks really pretty. So now we're going to pick a board that it will fit. And then this is going to go on this board. So what I'm going to do is hot glue around the edges of this. Just like that. Turn it over. and hot glue that down. Okay. Now we're going to find a pretty button in our jar of buttons that we can use for our Christmas tree topper. Find just a pretty, let's see, let's do some type of red. That's way too big. Okay, we'll use that one. So we'll hot glue our button on here at the top. Just like that. And now we're going to go around the edges of the Christmas tree where the garland is throughout the Christmas tree and where the candle lights are. And we're going to add hot glue and put on some glitter so it will really shine. Okay, we'll just add a dot of hot glue everywhere there is a candle. We'll put it on our plate so we don't make too big of a mess. And then add our glitter. And then just knock off the extra. Okay, and this is what we're left with. That looks really cute. Okay, so now what I want to do is take this twine and add twine all around the wood piece. So I'm going to start in the back and hot glue this wood piece right here, or hot glue this twine onto the back just like that. And then I'm going to turn this over and just start winding the twine every which way you can wind it, all over this ornament. Just like that. And then we'll turn it back over on this side. Add some hot glue. And trim off our string. Let that dry. Now on the back, while we have this drying, we need to add our ribbon. So we're going to do the same thing again with the ribbon. Make sure they're the same length. We need to make sure the ribbon is the same length. Just like that. And then lay one side over the other side. And this is going to make our hanger. So we'll want it to hang just like that. So we need to hot glue this onto the back. just like that. And now we'll trim up the bottom to make it look pretty. Okay. Turn it over. And here is our ornament. It looks really pretty. And I really like these pieces of just plain wood to go on my Christmas tree. I know that you could rough them up, sand them, paint them with all different colors, whatever. But I really like this wood because it just seems like they're homemade. Like we used what we had and made a beautiful Christmas ornament. And that's what I'm going for this year. Homemade stuff that I can, you know, put together that I already have in my stock or that I can find on our farm. And to me, this ornament is beautiful. For this next DIY ornament, we're going to make a reindeer. So what I did is just went out and found some sticks. I have 2 sticks for the antlers. I have a stick for the body. And I have 4 sticks for the legs. So what we're going to do is hot glue all of this together to make a reindeer. And I also have a little acorn for the tail. And we'll use one berry, one red berry for his nose. He can be Rudolph. So here we go. This is the body, so we're going to use the body and put hot glue here and here and here and here. And this will be where our legs go. When you get the legs hot glued on, then you can stand it up and it will be easier to work with. Just waiting for this front leg to dry. Okay. So there he is, standing up. What we're going to do is add the reindeer's head. So we're just going to hot glue a acorn on top, just like that. This acorn we're going to put on the antlers. So we just add some hot glue and hot glue these on, just like that. And let them dry. This would be a fun craft to do with your kids too. I think the kids would like to do this. They could make their reindeer any way that they wanted to make it. We have the antlers on, just like that. And now we're gonna turn it up on its back and add a little red nose. My reindeer is gonna be Rudolph. So all I'm gonna do is add a little berry to the front to make this look like Rudolph. Let that dry a second, and then we're gonna turn it around this way where the tail is sticking up. Put some hot glue where we want our tail to go. And for this, we're gonna put a little tiny acorn. And just like with all of our other ornaments, we are going to add snow to this. So I need to mix up some more, so I'm going to let this sit here and dry for a second while I mix up some more snow. Just a little bit of sand. I usually make this in small batches because that way if you don't wind up using it all, you haven't wasted your materials. Just make sure that that glue is mixed in the sand really well. And then we're just going to take this and put it all over our reindeer. Just press it on there like that. Just press it on like that. Put some on his little head and his legs. Like that. And now we have our little reindeer. He looks super cute. And it's just stuff that I got out of the yard to make him, except that little red berry, but the rest of it, and you don't even have to have the red berry. You could use a button, or if you have holly outside, you could use a holly berry if you wanted it to be completely from outside. So now what we need to do is add a ribbon to put it around his little waist. Tie it. Just like that. And then make our bow. Bring one side up. Bring the other side up. And just tie those two loops together. Just like that. And so that will lay where I want it to lay. I'm just going to add a little dab of hot glue. And pull this around like that. So it lays exactly how I want it to lay. Trim this off. And there is our little Rudolph. The next thing that we're going to make is a pinecone garland. These flowers, these are pinecone flowers that I just clipped and made out of pine cones, and I'm going to show you how I cut these. Maybe you have a better idea of how to cut them, and you could leave me a comment and tell me how you think they should be cut, or if there's a trick or whatever. But these things are serious to cut. So I'll show you. Here is my tool. This is a, Mark calls them loppers. I don't know what the technical term for them are. I just know I use this to trim the branches when they start hanging down too far. I keep these on my golf cart, and I can just trim a branch if I need to, if it has fallen down too low. But this is the easiest way that I've found to cut these, and so I'll show you exactly how I do that. So just take your regular pine cone. These are really super dry. Just take your regular pine cone. I just lay it on the table. Take my loppers, for lack of a better term. Put it on the pine cone and just cut it. Just like that. Now, once it's cut, it's not going to be perfect. We have to do some surgery on it. So then I can just take my regular clippers and go around and clip off some of the top until it's nice and level on the top with the rest of the pine cone. So you have like a center, so it kind of looks like a zinnia, or, you know, whatever. It kind of looks like just like that. Now, they are hard to cut, but it's worth it because these flowers are absolutely just beautiful. I love them. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to make a pinecone garland to go around my smaller Christmas trees. So let's get started doing that. For this pinecone flower, because it is missing petals, I'm just going to run some hot glue around the edge right here and add some of its long petals back. There we go, all fixed up. Okay, here are all of our beautiful flowers that we have made. We are going to use 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. We're going to use 18 flowers to make our garland, and you could make this any size that you want to make it, as long as you want to make it for your tree, however long. What I'm going to do is mix up another batch of snow, and on the inside of this I'm just going to add a little bit of snow. I have a little bit right here I can show you. Just going to add a little bit of snow, so we're still going with our snow theme, just like that. You can still use the same plate that you've been using the whole time. Pour in some sand and a little bit of glue and stir. I'm going to get out a piece of parchment paper to lay these on as I make them, so that all of that glue don't get all over everything, because this is going to be a lot. What we're going to do is use our paddle wire, unspool it, and we're not going to cut the paddle wire. Take the wire and weave it through your pine cone petals. Just like that. Just weave it through. And when you get to the other side, give it a twist. Just like that, so it stays on there. Okay? Now what you want to do is keep you a nice length of this paddle wire unrolled. Go down, maybe, you pick. I'm going to go down about 5 inches or so, and I'm going to run the paddle wire through the petals, out the other side, and add another pinecone flower. And I'm just going to keep doing that until I have all of the flowers on here with the wire. This is our beautiful pinecone garland. What I want to do with this, what I decided, is I want to use these pieces of green garland and go between each pine cone and run the garland around the pine cone or around the wire. Just like that. Just run it right around where the wire runs. So it will look, uh-oh, we've got a tangled up mess here. So it will look like this. I think that looks really pretty. So I'll continue that and go all the way down the whole thing with the greenery. Just bend it on because this has some really good wire in it. So just bend it onto there. So we'll just keep going with it down until we get to the end. Just wrapping it around and around. And to be honest, you probably should put something down on the floor because all of that white stuff that you see is glue. So I'm going to have to work quick and get that cleaned up. But that's okay.